Do you get upset when people do not do things the way that you think that they should be done? Do you have the attitude, it's my way or the highway? Or can one instance or change of plans totally change your mood for the worst for the rest of the day? If you answered yes to these questions, you, my friend, I'm sorry to say, are a control freak. I know you um, because I used to be one. And let me tell you something, control freaks are some of the most miserable people on the face of the planet. And the reason why is simply because life is going to happen. There's going to be detours, there's going to be changes of plans, and sometimes some things are just not going to happen when you want it to. Also, when dealing with people, you know, a control freak doesn't understand or realize that people have different upbringings, different experiences, different beliefs, and different philosophies from theirs. Okay? And control freaks try to compartmentalize people into their way of thinking, their way of being, and their way of life. And life just doesn't work that way. If you have control freak tendencies, there, you know, I really understand, what your mindset is like. But you need to understand that no one wants to be around someone who is constantly groaning, moaning, and complaining or angry about why something isn't working out right. And even if you don't moan or complain, you're more than likely not in a positive state. And you know what? And the reason why you should be concerned with this is because when people don't want to be around you, and you have children, you have a husband, you have friends and family, that's a really big issue. And here's the problem, why I'm making this video is because God gave us all free will, and control freaks encroach upon that free will. I have heard some women talk to their husbands, and they talk to their husbands like children. I hear them say some things like, he better have taken out the trash or there'll be hell to pay. Or they'll say statements like, why did you do this? You know, I hate it when you do this. And though, the latter isn't as bad as the first, it's still a problem because, you're making your partner defensive, and a lot's not going to be accomplished there. And here's some food for thought on how serious, being a control freak can really just turn your life upside down. There's a doctor by the name of Dr. John Gottman. Him and a team of researchers coded a number of 15-minute conversations between multiple married couples. And when they fast forwarded 14 years from the time they did the recording of their conversation and they coded it, he was able to predict with a 93% accuracy which couples ended in divorce. And this was based on a conversation. This means it was based on how they spoke to one another. And here are the couple of the four, it was four things that, stuck out in this when he coded it. And it was contempt, criticism, defensiveness, and stonewalling. Okay. And so based off of his study and based off of, what I was saying before about people not wanting to be around a control freak. And if you're married, this is not a good thing. If your conversations are full of contempt, criticism, defensiveness, and stonewalling, then this is something definitely you should take a serious look at. And I bring this up because I know that control freaks don't know how to talk to people a lot of the times. And pretty much it comes down to this. I'm not naive. I've had my share of issues and things of that nature. But there are some real issues that go on in marriage. There may be contempt there, and contempt is worse than anger because disgust is present. You have a disgust for your spouse, probably due to something that they may have done before, and it hurt you. Um, Criticism comes in, because you may feel superior, uh, based off of the decisions you've made versus some that they may have made. And defensiveness comes a lot of times because maybe you feel inferior. And stonewalling, you just may not want to hear what they have to say. But if this is something that's consistent, that's going on like frequently, then it definitely needs to be addressed. But and one of the things I would say would be to definitely, you're going to have to deal with those deep rooted issues. Infidelity happens in marriage. A lot of times, some different feelings get hurt over the years, things that are said that should not be said, and it may hurt us. But if you want to continue on and build a strong marriage, you definitely have to resolve those issues in order to move forward. Okay? And one of the main things, if you have a control freak mentality anyway, you're going to have some problems. Um, you know, just relinquishing yourself of trying to control everything. Um, and I see this a lot I see it with young people, but it's really sad when you see it with some of I see a lot of older women with this problem. Um, it's quite funny, but it's sad at the same time because no one wants to be around them and they don't understand why. Why doesn't anyone come see me? Well, you make a big fuss about who sits on the couch, or they left, a cup on the counter. And we don't, if you're anything, if you want to be better, you definitely don't want to be one of those people. And I have a couple of tips, that'll help you. Me being a former control freak myself, I spent, 8 hours at a time studying to get on the president's list. I mean, I used to like, try to make sure that I was on top of everything. But you know what? Life happens. Um, you know, uh, I went to college, got my education and everything like that, and I was not ready for what was to happen. 8 months out of college after landing a job, I was laid off. And I wasn't prepared for that. And if you're a control freak, you really don't know how to handle that situation. You just keep going a circle in your mind like, I did everything I was supposed to do. This was not supposed to happen. In order for you to live a happier life, there is going to have to be an element of going with the flow. This doesn't mean that you don't plan ahead. This doesn't mean that you just are lackadaisical about your life. It simply means you get when something is brought to you, some situation or some obstacle, you look at that obstacle or situation and you say to yourself, is there anything that I can do to change this now? And if the answer is no, you have to let it go and go and do something else more productive, until the issue works itself out. If there is nothing else that you can do, and if you tried everything that you can do, then you have to let it go. I'm telling you, and it's going to be so freeing. I'm more relaxed. I don't have that extra stress, and the gray hairs have not been coming in as rapidly as they were. So that's definitely. I mean, it's just like a weight that's lifted off of you when you get to that point. You can't control someone being chronically late. All you can do is make sure that you're on time. All you can do is make sure you communicate to that person how important it is for you, to meet with them on time and that they respect your time. If they consistently do it, you can either remove yourself from that situation, see them less frequently, or just don't deal with them at all. Whatever it takes to have less stress in your life, that's what you need to do. That's a part of not being a control freak, is knowing that people have different values. Some people don't value time like you may value time. Some people may not value material things like you may value them. They might not be as clean as you, but that's okay. God made us all different, and they've had a different experience. But when you start trying to make someone you, you're going to have problems. You're going to be stressed out and you're going to be alone because no one wants to deal with that. And a part of not being a freak is accepting people for who they are. And I learned that from my husband because he knows how to accept people for who they are. He may not deal with certain people on different levels because of the irritation that comes with dealing with them, but he does not allow situations to destroy his peace. Okay? And that's what I like, that's what I've learned from him. Being stressed out all the time, and I still have my times every now and then, but I am nothing like I used to be. Okay, so here are some tips to help you to relinquish those control freak tendencies. Number one, meditation. Meditation. I used to get so angry to the point to where it would destroy the rest of my day. And I'll look back on that and I'm like, wow, I missed out on all those beautiful days because one person said something or one person didn't do something the way that I thought that it should be done. Meditation will help calm your spirit, it'll calm your mind, and it'll help you to just really connect the dots on things in your life and why they are the way that they are. This has helped me to relinquish my control freak tendencies, and I know that it'll help you. Another tip, actively become aware of what you're thinking about in the moment. When you're starting to feel upset and you're starting to feel overwhelmed, your palms are starting to sweat, your heart's racing, think about what you're thinking about. Observe your thoughts. And immediately, and if it's negative, immediately seek out the good in the situation, even if it's small. Even if it's small, that will help you. Counseling for married people or people in long-term relationships, or if you're dealing with issues with, someone, a relative in your family. Go to counseling and deal with those unresolved issues. This will help you get to the root of it, and a part of this is forgiveness. If you're holding on to what someone else has done to you, it is going to drive you insane, and it's going to make it very difficult to deal with them. And the next point is read more about psychology and communication. The more you know about people, the better you are able to communicate, the better you're going to be able to get what you want. And at the end of the day, all of us want something. The problem with control freaks is that they go about the wrong way in getting it. And if you understand people better and you can communicate better, you're going to get a better result. Okay? So, I wanted you to practice. If your spouse comes home and they fail to take care of a bill, for instance, I'm using this as an example. Everybody has their own thing, but if they fail to take care of a bill that you asked them to make, and the money was in the bank account, they forgot to do it, and your service is terminated, for temporarily terminated until you pay them, and it could have all been avoided if they would have just did what you said. Instead of yelling or stonewalling, just try to say something of the sort. Honey, I've been doing the calculations for everything, in our house, and ABC Company charges us $35 each time that we're late. You know that we could use that money, like if we're late, just 6 times out of the year, that's $210. We could use that money to buy you a new tablet, or even a new set of golf clubs, or that a record player you've been wanting. I want to make sure that we're better stewards of our money and we can get more of what we want. So this won't happen next time, would you like for me to add it to your Google Calendar or text you so that you will not forget? Okay, so that's an example of what you can say that's so much better, than saying, you inconsiderate idiot, all you care about is your dumb XYZ. You could care less about what goes on in this house, and I'm so sick and tired of this, and I'm tired of you. Okay? And these are, this may sound bad, but these are some real conversations and some real words from some married people. You see the contrast between the two. If you want a loving, supportive marriage, you're going to have to work on your communication and relinquish control. All right. And at the end of the day, what's more important? The $35, late charge or your marriage? You really have to ask yourself that question. It's not a good thing to belittle your spouse and your partner because they didn't do what you told them to do. Okay? It's frustrating. Yes, very. But you have to find a way to communicate and to motivate them to want to do it. Who's motivated when they are talked to like less, like a child or less than a person for that matter? No one. They want to find the way to avoid you and not be around you at all. Okay? And let me tell you this, when you talk that way, you're force feeding your relationship poison. And the divorce rate in this country is a coin toss. And according to Dr. Gotham's research, a lot of it comes out of your mind and what you say. So let's make an effort to be better in how we talk to our spouse. I hope that this has helped someone today. Um, my only word of advice for this week is choose your words wisely and cover them with honey. That always works. You guys have a blessed day and don't be a control freak.
Dig that? Hey now, hey, hey now, hey.